what about Bagnaia? Has he got something up his sleeve? Is there an ace up his sleeve in that final sector? There he goes. He squeezes that front leg as hard as he dares. He tries to hunt down Martin and Binder. It's all on the line there now in this final sector of the program. They'll flick it hard left through turn 10. Who is going to win this epic, thrilling last lap showdown here? It looks like it's going to be Martin, but here comes Binder. Martin goes super defensive. How Thai saw him, Martin going to go in this final corner. Will Binder get him on the comeback? What about Pecco Bagnaia? McIntyre, another big swing in this World Championship battle. Martin back at the front, lap and a half to go in this Thai Classic.
Massive credit to Martin before his victory was potentially fading. He now goes to Bagnaia. Bagnaia surely now has to follow the offensive. He can't allow Martin to win this race. It's been dead between himself and his chief rival. It would be down to just 9 points.
What can Bagnaia do here later? What can Binder do as well as Martin then is back at the front of this Thailand Grand Prix? Here comes Binder. That's where he's been so good. That's been his favourite, overtaking hotspot through turn 8. It's lights out. We're racing here in front. It's a brilliant launch. Left front right by Luca Marini. He's going to get the drop on Hoy Martin. And Martin comes around the outside through the first corner. Bagnaia's away well too from the 6th place. He goes side by side with Alex Marquez. Bagnaia thinks he's 4th already.
With Binder and Alex Marquez into turn number 3. It looks suspiciously like a jump start for back with Bagnaia. He's just behind that trio back with the 5th.
Bagnaia toughed it out there in the brakes. He was squeezed in between Binder and Alex Marquez. In that braking zone, the hard braking zone for turn 3. So Bagnaia into 4th place. Begins his pursuit of the race leader Martin as his father has got through. On Marini up into 2nd place on the factory Aprilia. Marquez trying to find a way to a best, taking for the turn for the first, turn 5 for the first time. No way through.
He would have taken it. He's got himself into the race here. Alex Marquez, who was the only rider on the immediate rear tyre, running 6th.
Going back into the race, he's at the really top first. Top by Marquez and Conqueror. On this up with that big scare back for Bagnaia. I don't think he got picked up. I was just looking further back to try and track Marquez and Conqueror. I don't know if that was Binder's aggression that lifted up Pecco Bagnaia, but coming through was the South African on the factory KTM and Alex Marquez too. So Bagnaia has been pushed back down to P6.
Back where it started. Here comes Binder trying to get at the inside of Luca Marini. Is Binder now goes on the attack again? That's Bagnaia. Someone else has got the side of the picture. Looked like one of the 2 Gas Tech 3 KTMs that have run by Martin leads in the first lap. But as we suspected, he's not limited. He wants to make sure he's not on friendly with you.
Was that just a front-end scare early on here for Bagnaia, or was he picked up by the hard-charging Brad Binder? Here comes Alexis Margaret trying to find a way through Martin at the end of the straight. Oh, that was so close. These two are as close as brothers off the circuit. Bagnaia picks up Margaret back into 5th place now, recovering after that skirmish and scare on the opening lap.
How does Martin play this then? I'm sure he'd like to just leave a little bit of margin in his early laps, not to take too much out of his rear tyre, but that puts him under pressure behind Alexis Margaret. He's very keen to try and take the lead away from the market. Marini now shows us what we'll be inside of Alexis Margaret. The field's still very much got together. Yesterday.
Yeah, Martin knows he can't go gung-ho early on here. Has been the line of the move on Marini. Thought about it, coming through turn 8, no way through. Martin knows this is a long 26-lap race. Tyre preservation will be pivotal, and he just cannot fold. He can't try and break early on, otherwise he may well encounter the same kind of deterioration on that rear tyre that he had in Philippine last weekend. So this is Martin early on, just protecting that lead and riding as fast as he dared to manage the tyres.
Alex Marquez through again on Bagnaia. He's making Pecco's life difficult in this area. Bagnaia was launching a revenge mission on Binder, and he ended up losing a place once again to show you how relatively slow the lead is. He's starting with a second, but he's now set up. He's just on the 121.
Something through Ralph Fernandez, who's having a good driver. Today to R&F Aprilia. A lot better than his teammate Miguel Oliveira, who's down in 18th place. He's just been kicked off by one leg on the outside. That's not going to work, is it? Will Binder hard on the brakes. There's Marc Marquez now. Looking at the rear tyre. Ducati. You can clearly see here Martin just not willing to push with his normal hard, aggressive attacking style early on, because he knows at the back of his mind will be that tyre protection. So he just has not been willing to stick his neck right out here as himself, just like he was in the sprint yesterday, inside those top 3 places. Very early on, we've still got 1 corner, 23 laps to go here in Thailand. Here comes Alex Marquez coming from a long, long way back as he tries to get through on Luca Marini. How tight was Luca Marini there in that turn 12, the bottom gear turn 12, with 70 kilometers an hour. Bagnaia still can't get through again, playing on the Brazilian Ducati of Marquez.
Marquez and Marini, Bagnaia just wants a nice and steady and nice and comfortable racing without too much drama on the front one behind him. There's going to be plenty of it as he closes the overbreaking. Marc Marquez still very much in touch in 7th. Fabio Quartararo he's in first. He's just the back of the picture here, running in 8th place, and he will feel the longer this race goes, the stronger he should get.
Bagnaia not where he wants to be, of course, in terms of championship, but also in terms of front tyre temperature and pressure. He cuts that inside line through the bottom of turn 4, and here comes Marquez, who's going to pinch that inside line. 3-5, and he squeezes Bagnaia out to the paint world, and now Marc Marquez is going to come through up into 6th place. As we mentioned, oh, that's beautiful by Bagnaia. Well, I think Marquez is going to try and get another comeback. They're losing a little bit of precious time here. They try and tough it out. Bagnaia's right leg almost clipped by the left bearing of the left one. There's Binder now through on the latest fire road. This is like a Moto 3 battle early on in Buram. Bagnaia, though, now has been pushed back down to 7th place. He's going from bad to worse for the World Chang.
Bagnaia might have to just change plans here. He was trying to stay patient. I think he's just going to have to get on with this and just start fighting fire with fire. Alex Sparkle now with the inside. He tries to turn across the front nose, and that lets Alex Marquez through.
How close was that? Alexis Sparkle almost in contact with Alex Marquez, who checks up in the ring coming through the final corner. Martin has been the spot. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 131, 2-1-1, the best from Binder. You can just see how much tyre preservation is a factor early on here. The top 20 riders at the end of lap 4 were covered by less than 5 seconds. Here comes Marquez and trying to make it back through on Marini. Binder thought about it, but Martin was too razor sharp in the front of that Prima Ducati on the brakes into turn 3, and this melee that's building behind the top 2, Martin and Binder are starting to clear off.
Deceptive in turn 3 as Alex Marquez now towards Bagnaia through on Marc Marquez, who's trying to hang around on the outside, and he's eased off the track. Bagnaia has to do this. High Portland is gripping too far from the road for him.
Back of Jorge Martin at one stage in the sprint yesterday. Early clashes with Marquez. Really disrupting his early pace, disrupting his early winner, as finally Alex Marquez is attempting this move on at least half a dozen occasions. This time around, coming through turn 7, he finally makes it through.
Reminder, Alex Marquez is the sole rider in this field who's on the medium rear tyre, so if he's going to be competitive, it's going to be early on, and he's trying to make hay while the sun relatively shines here. He's now up into 3rd place.
You just wonder how much Bagnaia will be feeling the heat, the raising spike of the front tyre temperature and the front tyre pressure as he mired in this middle road, getting on with it. Impressive work this by the world champion. 1:31.066 is the best lap on this Grand Prix so far. So that puts him about a 10th quicker than your top 2, Martin and Binder, who are nearly a second clear of Alex Marquez.
5 seconds still covers the top 18 riders on the road, so that's how relatively slow the pace is, and that's how tight the field is. Bagnaia taking that wider entry line to give himself the best possible slingshot out of turn number 3. It's quite deceptive through there. There are 2 potential lines through that hairpin at the end of the back straight, and Bagnaia now looking to try and zero in on the back of the latest car. This is the right one, 5th and 6th. Martin and Binder still. Alex Marquez with that medium rear tyre on the short field. He's got to get a pair before he starts to run into some really grip issues later on.
And I can't shake off Marc Marquez. That's a pretty good position to be in, isn't it? When you see +0.93 on your pit or you're fighting for the World Championship, desperate just to try and make sure that he doesn't leave the ball into this. No room for Marquez to stick that next to Honda back underneath that factory GP23. On board then with Binder, sweeping through turn 10. Right then now through the 4th gear, building up to around 270 kilometers an hour. Then you drop anchor, drop the right leg, open the apex right here, tight on the inside of turn 12. Martin then it is that will lead at the end of this lap 6. Marini now comes back to the announcers to Marco Bezzecchi. That is crossed line 8th place at 1:31.032. Bez Raul Fernandez.
And Raul Fernandez took Quartararo into turn 1 there in the back of the picture. So Raul Fernandez now gets in 9th place. Quartararo drops to 10th. Still in a leading group of essentially 18 riders. Raul Fernandez, and Zarco's going to make it 2 Frenchmen, passing Raul Fernandez in the space of about 20 metres.
Yeah, Fernandez not liking the French duo right now, as he slips behind Quartararo and Zarco. Marco Bezzecchi, how hard he's had to work early on to recover those 1 places. How much he's already managed to put some effort into that rear tyre, maybe potentially get some big issues later on in this Grand Prix, but he's coming on strong here. This was the move that Bezzecchi made on Quartararo. That was a worry at the time. How close do you want it there? How bad is this? So obviously a tech issue for all there.
Which is going to force him into the pit lane. Oliveira is running in 20th place at the moment, and he's off the back of that leading pack. So Oliveira lines up going particularly quickly. Anyway, if it looks like he's going to retire, in fact, he has now stopped out and track.
There's Marquez.
Marquez, who made this move yesterday on the final lap of the sprint, and he's done it once again in the race itself. So Marc Marquez now into the top 6. Aleix Spargo going the wrong way.
Awesome job again by Marc Marquez, benefiting from that third row. Obviously, he said if you get on those first 3 rows, you can be in the game. You make the start of it aggressively early on, you can go away with the lead group. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Of course, he's probably profiting as well from the relatively slow pace at the front of this Grand Prix. This was Bagnaia. This was here on the inside of Aleix Spargo through the third gear sweep, 175 turn 7. He made that look so easy, didn't he? Pecco Bagnaia. Aleix Spargo at the moment going the wrong way, although he's wrestled back that 6th spot from Marc Marquez.
Also saw the yellow and red flag and light panel flashing out in the back straight, so maybe Miguel Oliveira had some fluid dropping out of his
Aleix Spargo and Marc Marquez, well, they had a proper battle royale, and in the sprint yesterday they barged into each other, coming out of the high-speed turn 4. Neither wants to give a millimetre, let alone an inch, and Aleix Spargo back on the inside of the 8 times world champion. The problem this is allowing Bagnaia, that lead group, to get away here. They've just got to calm down here, get back into their rhythm, because Marquez now has dropped back towards Bezzecchi and Quartararo, but that was so close. Some proper old-fashioned rubbing going on there between the 2 most experienced men in this MotoGP field.
This is Bagnaia coming through on Luca Marini. Bagnaia now getting up to speed, although Marini, as we saw yesterday, is very late on the brakes, and Bagnaia unable to make his way through. But it does appear now with that battle royal, as you described it, between Spargo and Marquez, that they've lost touch with this leading 5. It cost them over a second. Marc Marquez in a 1:32.2, which was over a second slower than the others going. The fastest rider on track is now the 5th rider in your picture, the world champion Pecco Bagnaia.
He's going to have to get through on Marini through 1:38.99 is the new best race lap. There is your top 4 briefly in the same picture as they power now hard on the gas. This is where you're really punishing that rear tyre as you fire out of the first gear, turn 3, and all the way up to 5th gear. Right through the promise now before you flicking wide entry into the left-hand turn 4, into the starting midfield section. Martin, Binder with their touching distance to the come out the Ducati rider into the extension of the right way to they're both though. His man has done a sterling job, a stellar job. He still leads this Thai Grand Prix. Bezzecchi has got through on Marc Marquez as well. So Marco Bezzecchi's charge towards this lead group he hopes is continuing in a 7th place. Bagnaia looks like he's got the better speed, the better confidence coming through, turning everywhere. That's that high-speed flick. Might be struggling with the rear with the corner. He's so good at plate in that final corner. And again, Bagnaia just cannot get close. Through has been flicking hard right in the first corner. He will now get some slipstream right now on the rear tyre of the running really close to pull out the slipstream and attack Marini on the brakes in turn 3. That's flying right now for Bagnaia. He's going to get this move done on the inside of Marini in turn 3. Marini lays on the world champion. Bagnaia looks like he has got through. The Italian up to 4th, Hugh. was around lap 8 or 9 in the sprint yesterday where a few riders said that there was quite a significant drop-off. We're at that phase of this full Grand Prix here today, so we'll keep a beady eye on the lap times right now of Marc Marquez, who, to his credit and to the days, is still the same lap time. The top three all in the 1:31.1. Bagnaia again is that slightly quicker of that lead quartet, and having got through quickly on the lead, he's been able to immediately establish an advantage of nearly 4 tenths of a second over his VR46 Academy statement.
So a second and lap off the sprint pace of yesterday, so there was definitely some managing going on in this leading group. I would believe that Brad Binder is riding, but it's all going to be a case of who's managed the better, because Brad Binder admitted that he managed a little bit too much in the Australian Grand Prix. Perhaps didn't think this later on. So we'll see if he managed this pace.
A second adrift of a later Spargo and the factory in Pruitt. Took to the test split on this lap 11.56. Thankfully, the rain has so far stayed away. Sprang into the hands of Jorge Martin, who braked hard into the first gear, 70 km/h turn 12. Now he uses all of the famed Ducati acceleration to punch away on Brad Binder's KTM in second place. As he said, KTM in the hands of Binder yesterday in the sprint was so good, punching off the low of the acceleration right now. KTM with that new car partnership was on par with the Ducatis. But Brad Binder still keeping that watching brief in second place behind your race leader Martin. Pulls into the pits, a forgettable Buran Grand Prix weekend for the Spaniard. Now then, Bagnaia now is starting to build some speed and momentum in this final sector. I don't think he's even close enough to launch away. Martin goes super defensive again, doesn't he? On that inside, he's doing everything with his power here to resist Bagnaia. He looked down in the championship. He will not want to finish behind Bagnaia, having led so much of this Thai Grand Prix. 2 to go here in Buran, and it's still in the hands of KTM and Binder.
On the flag out now, it will be a 14-point gap between Bagnaia and Martin. The second and third riders are racing going to go up to 22 points. So I don't like Martin's actually coming back at Binder here.
Oh, fair play. Look at this by Martin. He knows he's going to be really close. He's going to squeeze Binder out wide, and coming through is Bagnaia. They almost touch it back. Bagnaia's front tyre did rub on Binder's rear tyre. Another big swing in this World Championship battle. Martin back at the front, lap and a half to go in this Thai Classic.
Massive credit to Martin there. He thought his victory was eventually fading. He now goes to Binder. Bagnaia surely now has to go on the offensive. He can't allow Martin to win this race. It's been clear between himself and his chief rival. It will be down to just 9 points.
What can Bagnaia do here later? What can Binder do as well as Martin then is back at the front of this Buran Grand Prix? Here comes Binder. That's where he's been so good. That's been his favourite, overtaking hotspot through turn 8. And again, he almost can reach out and grab Jorge Martin's exhaust pipe there, Carney, on that Prima comeback Ducati. We have got 1 lap and 2 corners remaining here in what has been another Buran thriller around the outside. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia. Look at this by the world champion around the outside of both Martin and Binder. Astonishing bravery and skill there by the world champion. Last lap on the way. Martin, Bagnaia or Binder. Who is going to win this Thai Grand Prix?
Bagnaia gets such a snapshot. Turns 10 and 11. He all hands to make that move around the outside. 2 previous Thai Grand Prix here have both been decided at turn number 12. I think we're heading for a third here.
Overtaking Oxford 8-2-3. Binder probably close enough to find the KTM on the inside of Martin. Martin defending resolutely here at the front of this Thai Grand Prix. He knows this will be a massive victory for him. He now gets the power down, streaks away from Binder as they tack down toward the 4th gear, turn like Bagnaia is running out of time here in third place.
Binder's best opportunity based on what we've seen so far will be into turn number 8. This is turn number 5. We've got a couple more on left-handers. We've got to take right through 7. Binder has attacked twice already into 8. This might be his best opportunity. We'll put the dare danger at turn number 12.
And what about Bagnaia? Has he got something up his sleeve? Is there an ace up his sleeve in that final sector? Yet again, he squeezes that front right as hard as he dares. He tries to hunt down Martin and Binder. It's all on the line there now in this final sector of the program. They'll flick it hard left through turn 10. Who is going to win this epic, thrilling last lap showdown here? It looks like it's going to be Martin, but here comes Binder. Martin goes super defensive. How tight is Jorge Martin going to go in this final corner? Will Binder get him on the comeback?